everybody. So today's look is inspired by my wedding, which will be next January. So we're less than a year out, and I have to say that bridal makeup and hair and style has been super top of mind for me. So I wanted to do a bridal look that had a little bit of fun going on. So we have some blue around the eyes, which is definitely a pop of color. I know that the typical bridal look is very neutral and glowing. This is more for the evening, and it's definitely fun with your something blue around the eyes. I really enjoyed making this look. I also did a little side do. I'm wearing Balami extensions. I will link which ones they are down below in case anyone is interested. And yeah, I'm sure I'll have lots more bridal looks between now and next year, just given how top of mind it is for me right now. But this is the first official bridal tutorial. I hope you all enjoy. If you do, please thumbs up, subscribe, tell your friends, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is prime the face. I'm using the Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. Will really minimize the appearance of any pores and give you a flawless, smooth foundational surface to apply all of your other products. It's really similar to a Makeup Forever smoothing primer or a Smashbox Poreless. So now we're going to do a little color correction, and I'm going to use this Tapered Sigma concealer brush, and we're going to take the orange shade first. You can see that it's really, really stark on my skin, but it will blend out and it ends up really, really covering any dark circles. So you want to use something peachy or orange to counteract dark areas. Doesn't have to only be under the eye. That just happens to be one of the most typical places on the face where you find a lot of darker patches. And then I'm going to take the green, which counteracts redness, and put it around all the areas of my face where I tend to be red. You can use this on blemishes, the hormonal areas of the face between the eyebrows and at the edges of the nose. I have the little broken veins in the sides of my nose that I cover with this. Sometimes my cheeks are especially red, and I just want to make an even complexion so that when we put on foundation, none of these natural discolorations in the skin show through. So it's a little horrifying, but we're going to cover it. So then I'm using the Becca Under Eye Brightening Color Corrector. This is in a little tub. It's a very light pink cream, and this is fantastic also for just brightening the under eye area and kind of serves as a bridge between the orange color corrector we put and the foundation and concealer that's going to go over it. Next is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and I'm going to make it a little more luminous with the Kevyn Aucoin Celestial Skin Lighting, I believe it's called. I will link it down below. There's other sort of liquid or cream shimmer products that you could use for this, and I'm just going to take a foundation brush. This is the IT brush from, I believe this is from Ulta. Again, I'll link it down below, from their Velvet collection, and I'm just going to take that little concoction that I mixed on the back of my hand and work it all over the face. Because we're doing a bridal look, we really want everything to look flawless and glowing, and we don't want to look too cakey. You're going to have a lot of photos really up close to the face. We want a flawless application that doesn't look like you're wearing a ton of makeup, especially on the skin. The eyes will be a little more overdone, but for your actual complexion, you want it to look even. So for concealer, we're going to use the Naked by Urban Decay Weightless Full Coverage, and I'm using two colors. I use the darker shade, I believe it's medium dark warm, and I'm going to use that to prime my eyes and just give a little extra coverage over any areas that I feel especially sensitive about. Then I'm going to take the lighter color, which is medium light neutral, and I'm just going to tap this in sort of a V shape from the inner part of the nose out, the chin, the cupid's bow, a little bit on the forehead, any areas of the face where we want to highlight, and just blend that out with a Real Techniques beauty blender. You can use other beauty blenders. You could use a brush if you prefer that to the wet sponge. But for bridal, just given how flawless we're looking and what a light sheer application you want it to appear like in photos, I just think that the beauty blender does a better job blending everything together and looking sheer as opposed to ever looking too built up or cakey. So next we're going to set under the eyes, and we're going to use this Marc Jacobs Mirage Filter palette. The more banana color is the middle of the three shades that they offer. They have one that's more pink and they have one that's more fair. But this yellow shade for me is just perfect for setting under the eyes. I also set where we prime the lids, just anywhere where you want to avoid any creasing. And then to contour, we're going to use this Cover FX Cream Contour Palette, and I will link the shade that I'm using here down below. And with a flat concealer brush, you could use a lot of different types of brushes for this based on what you're comfortable with and what you have on hand, but this flat brush is really useful with this particular product because it's very thick when you're trying to pull it out of the palette pans. So I'm going to use that darkest shade and just start near the hairline, right where my cheekbone is. Kind of, you want to pull in where the sides of your face are and just drag down and create that contour. Don't worry, we're going to blend it out with the Beauty Blender. Do the same around your temples and draw it up above toward your hairline. Again, contour always where you want to recede back. So if you have a particularly large forehead, you want to contour a bigger area. If you have a small forehead and a low hairline, then, make it lighter so that more of your forehead pulls forward. I also always do the jawline. This is especially important for bridal because you want, anytime you're shooting profile or 3/4 view photos of your face, that sharp line under the jaw will make you just look really cut and angular, thin. So under the chin is really important, but make sure you blend it down so you don't have a dark brown line. The Beauty Blender, then just go back in and dab over the entire area, no harsh lines around the edges, just making it look flawless and natural. You can spend as much time doing this as you want. It'll also help absorb any extra product on the face that you don't need there. So once you've contoured the main parts of the face, we're going to go in and do the nose. And I prefer to use a stick product for the nose. This is from the Smashbox Contour Stick Trio. Again, you can't buy these individually. I know it's such a bummer, but the contour stick in this trio is fantastic. It's super creamy, super blendable. So I go down the sides of the nose and then I kind of widen it at the tip of my nose because I have a little ball at the tip of my nose and we want that nice, straight, thin silhouette. And then I'm using this tapered Morphe brush and I just go in back and forth and blend it out. Blending is really important because you don't want at any angle to be able to tell that your nose is deliberately contoured. So you want to make sure it still has the right shape. You want to keep that sort of highlighted strip down the middle of the nose nice and clean, but you want to blend out the rest of it so at no angle in photos will you be able to detect that you contoured this area. It should look very natural. And then in this case, I am going to use the white highlight stick from that same set just to reinforce the center bridge of the nose and the narrowness of that highlight portion. This just helps make the contour a little bit more severe. And I take the same brush after kind of wiping it off and just blend out that center strip down the nose into the edges. And the final step is to go back to the contour shade if you would like to do this step. You don't have to. And just draw a little line across above the tip of the nose. It makes that little turned up, very delicate nose shape. It's very subtle, but you'll notice it in photos. Lastly, I'm going back to that Cover FX palette and the shimmery highlight shade. I'm just going to dust a bit of that down the bridge and on the tip of the nose. And move on to blush. So this is MAC Warm Soul from the Mineralized collection. Oh my God, this color is so gorgeous. I recommend it to any brides within a moderate skin tone range. And an angled Morphe blush brush and just tap that on the apple, sort of just behind the apples and then back. We want that highlight under the eyes to still feel bright and fresh and not overly pink. So next for our eyes, we're going to use the Vice 3 palette from Urban Decay, and the first shade is Undone. It's a really great nude transition shade, and we're just going to use this fluffy Morphe brush and go back and forth across the crease and up all the way to the brow bone. So this is a very light, moderate shade. It's not overpowering. It's just a good foundation and transition for all of the other more shimmery materials that we're going to use on the eyes. So this is a product that I love that you don't hear much about. It's the Giorgio Armani Cream Eye Tint. They have some great colors in these and they go on super smooth and dry right away and leave this great subtle shimmer behind. They're really, really beautiful. This is in shade 11 and it's kind of like a pink neutral shade with a little bit of hint of kind of fluorescence in the shimmer. It's really, really nice. So we're doing this on both eyes. We're going to make it a little bit of a winged out V shape in the outer corner and then using this very sort of soft velvety little wand, blend it up into that transition shade that we already put down. Next we're going to use a Bobbi Brown cream eye product. This also has some shimmer in it and it is in the shade Smoky Topaz. and put that with a shorter, fluffier, kind of thicker brush in that outer corner. So this is where we're starting to build up the dimension. Between each step, it's really important to go back with your original fluffy Morphe brush from the transition shade and just blend it out, blend it out. Windshield wiper motions, circular motions, just blend it all together. And then little by little, using that stiffer, shorter brush, layer on a little bit more of the Bobbi Brown darker shimmer cream in that outer corner until you've built up the right level of depth. I went back in with the Vice 3 palette and picked a dark gray shade called Defy and kind of layered that in just in the outer crease and V, just to make it a little bit more dramatic. A little bit at a time is the best way to do this. So add a little bit, blend it out, add a little bit, blend it out. That's going to give you the most gradual and natural progression between the shades, so it doesn't feel too muddy or clumpy in any area of the lid. The last piece we're going to add into the corner of the eye, just to bridge the pop of color in that we're going to add on the bottom, is this dark navy blue color from the palette called Heroine. So use this sparingly. You've already done a foundation of sort of a smoky set of grays, but adding this deep, rich blue in that outer corner and blending it out will just help tie the other more bright, lighter blues we're going to add to the bottom of the eye all together to complete the look. You'll kind of see it come together later on. Don't forget to blend. Blend, blend, blend should be your motto, especially when working with these darker colors. It's just vital that you really blend it out. Next, we're going to do our winged liner. This is the Kat Von D liner pen. Really, really great, fine felt tip that lets you get extremely precise. I think that out of all the liquid liners I've used, this gives you the best control. So if you're just starting out, try using this product. So we're going to line the lash line as close to the lashes as possible and then build it up. So I actually didn't even bring it all the way to the inner corner of the eye. I went maybe like 4/5 of the way, and then it starts out super thin near the lashes and gets a little bit wider as you get to the outer corner, and then created my wing. It's not a very thick, long wing. It's really just to create that upward almond-shaped eye and help complement the fairly dramatic lashes that we're going to put on later, which have a nice flung out outer corner, and this will tie it all together. A little coat of mascara before we do lashes. You don't have to go crazy. This is the CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume in Very Black. That's my favorite mascara. And our lashes today are my absolute favorite style of all time for a dramatic lash, and it's House of Lashes Iconic. This is not subtle, so if you're going for a more subtle bridal look, I suggest a lighter lash. Next, we're going to start on the lower lash line. So we're going to use this Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Waterproof Liner. Waterproof being key, brides do cry. And it's in this icy blue shade, and a flat definer brush, and line the waterline with it. And then we're going to use a light blue shade of shadow from the Vice 3 palette called Freeze. It has a little shimmer in it, and it'll nicely complement that cream that we put on the waterline. And we're going to use the same definer brush, but put it on the lash line on the lower lid, so just under the lashes. And then with a little tapered pencil style brush, again, I think this is Morphe, we're going to start to blend that out. You also can put some of the darker blue shade that we use on the top lid, Heroine, in just the outer corner of the lash line and then blend it all together. That'll give the bottom lash line a little bit more oomph. You can see now that I'm just doing a coat of mascara on those bottom lashes. Same mascara, the CoverGirl. It's my absolute favorite. And then highlight the inner corner. You could use a lot of things to highlight the inner corner. This is the LA Girl Gel Liner in the shade Champagne. I think this is beautiful, especially for brides, and it's really long lasting because it's a gel. So next is the brows. I'm in love with this Hourglass Arch Brow Sculpting Pencil. It's a great formula, and this shade of blonde just really works with my hair and skin tone. And it's got one of those angled tips, so it's not a standard pencil. It's got like that more geometric shape, which really lets you vary between a thick stroke and a thin stroke. I know Anastasia Beverly Hills just came out with a version of this shape of pencil, so if only her shades matched my hair better, I'd be all about it. So either the Anastasia or this Hourglass one is probably going to work for you. And then I set my brows with the Benefit Gimme Brow. This is the light medium shade. It's also a brow thickener, which is great because it attaches to the hairs you have and makes them look thicker. Next, we're going to highlight. So I'm going to use a fan brush and the Becca Champagne Pop by Jaclyn Hill shade. This is gorgeous for brides, oh my goodness. And just dust that from the apples of the cheeks up back across the cheekbones, and then take a pencil brush and do the brow bone as well, which will really give the eyes some lift. A little bit on the Cupid's bow to make us look kissable and irresistible. And then we're going to line the lips. This is MAC Edge to Edge. It's a soft baby pink. It's a really beautiful color, particularly for weddings. And you'll see that I actually completed this lip look and then decided to do something a little bit more neutral because we have such a nice pop of color with the blue that the bright baby pink didn't feel like it fit as well. If you're going for a really colorful look, you could totally rock a bright baby pink lip. And top it off with a little bit of gloss. This is Smashbox Be Legendary Lip Gloss in Pink Lady. It's such a gorgeous sheer with just a little bit of shimmer and pink undertone to it, which was super complimentary to this liner. So I really like this look. Something to consider when you're thinking about bridal is wanting to kiss your man and kind of meet and greet relatives. So lip gloss will kiss off, so keep that in mind. So that's complete, but then I wanted to go in and try a different lip. So I took that off. My lips are now red and bee stung from wiping all of that off, but I wanted to try something long lasting and a little more nude. So this is Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Lipstick in Pure Hollywood. It goes on lighter than it dries, so keep that in mind. While it's wet, it looks very light nude, but it'll dry a bit darker, closer to mauve. And then we're going to set it all with Urban Decay Makeup Setting Spray, and this look is complete. I hope you enjoyed, and happy wedding, everybody.